Hey, welcome to the Psy Tai podcast, where we just tie. It's your host, Psy Tai, however you want to pronounce it, which is where we combine our minds with our hearts, see what our gut mind is saying, connect all those three circles, and then we let whatever come out just come on out. Welcome to the tie side. Get your tie on. Let's do it. Let's do the do. Shouts to everybody that was in the last podcast. This is kind of a part two process, but we keeping everything flowing and going. Get your tie on. Let's do it. Let's do the do. So shouts to everybody that was in the last podcast. This is kind of. Y'all probably hear me talking. Yeah, that was YouTube. Shout outs to me 5 seconds ago. It's a bunch of us going around all the time, talking to us, giving us information, little tidbits to keep us flowing along the way on the glorious path of life, all based on our individual choosing and personalities as it experiences the whole. So just tie. There we go. Turn that up. So there we go. Hit it with the wow. But yeah, hey guys. Yeah, we here. So let me open up. The Discord will be open. This is a place where you could come and tie on your story. You probably hear me tying on some things, but we're just going to talk about the day, talk about psychedelics, talk about magic mushrooms, DMT, weird dream stories, movies, anything that pops up in the atmosphere. That's how we just tie on the Psy Tai podcast if you have not been here before. Because we on episode 104, and there is a lot more in store. So check out the Just Tie Now store. Come and explore at the justtinow.com website. Yeah, we have a lot going on. Art. If you have any awesome art that you like displayed, music, you draw, you with the creative flow, check out Timation Studios. But if you want to just come on the channel, share in the Discord, I'll bring it up, play some music, play it at the beginning, the middle, end of the podcast. However, whatever seems terrific to the situation, I'm with it. So I appreciate all of y'all for coming through and for tying things on out during these times that we find ourselves. Let me open this up on Facebook, on YouTube. Facebook. Yeah, check out the Facebook as well. We on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, justtinow.com, Instagram, all the handles. And this is one of the shirts. I think it's the first time I wore this shirt in the podcast. Your inner mush. And the coolest thing about this story, like, the sink is real, the tie is real, the sink is real, but y'all heard it from Psy Tai first, because one of the stories, I was drawing this inside the market, waiting for one of my daughter's teachers at the homeschool program, like an intermediate person that we got to talk to, and I was sketching, drew this out, so I want this on the shirt, went home later, saw it on a TV program, the Tiffany Haddish cartoon, when she's a bird, and randomly sent a line was a mushroom. That was only my second time watching that show, period. And it was on that episode. And I was like, yo, there you go. And brought to life. Make sure the mic, all right, everything is on. Hey, True Life Stories. Shouts to True Life Stories. Keep it tight, 100. And before I keep going, it just reminded me, I want to play this instrumental. Get things grooving and moving. While we get things started. Combine our minds with our heart, that's how I just tie. Combine my heart with my mind, that's how I survive. See what the gut is doing, that's how. Wait. I got that. I just be fucking around with y'all. For real. Alright, we're gonna run that back. Because I'm feeling real goofy right now. First and get louder in my headphones. Turn my headphones up. There they go. I combine my mind with my heart. What my gut mind doing, getting me through the dark. I came from Philly, now I'm in Cali, just living. I'm in the mountains, smoking all day. Got these shrooms making all this room. In my mind, I'm losing track of time. I think I created that on a dime. If you ain't get that, then man, you ain't fly enough to kick it with us. Got a lot of things stopping my flow. Man. Yeah, I'm just joking around. I'll cut that off. Cut it. Cut. Too much of a laughing mood. We'll put it back on. But that's what it's all about. Open up the Discord for anybody that wants to join. It's been a lot of cool things going on. As I was saying before, jump right into some news. I was looking at this Vice article, and it was talking about how a lot of people that's born blind are protected from schizophrenia. This doesn't make any sense, but let's tie on it, because it can make sense, but that's just the first thought that pops up. But hey, let's see. People are born blind are mysteriously protected from schizophrenia. The possible explanations can help us better the condition. It was something Tom Pollock had heard whispers about, an odd factoid referred to now and again, usually with bewilderment. No person who was born blind has ever been diagnosed with schizophrenia. And y'all know for that, schizophrenia just means the splitting of the mind. Splitting of the mind. It was made by... Wait, where's that guy? Oh, they're not going to show his face. Etymology. Yes, translates to splitting in minds. Comes from the Greek root schizin, to split, and phrin. Mind was coined by this guy, Eugene Bleuler. Sound like his name was Bluer. But he the one that came up with this term. Oh, he also coined the term for autism. Huh. That's wild. I'm just tying on this because schizophrenia is what a lot of people say they're going through when they experience a lot of things that a mushroom journey would bring about to your mind. Seeming as though you're the center of the universe, that the world is playing out a story, that you hear voices from discarnated bodies, that things are talking to you, like the TV, the trees, the grass, and that the world around you doesn't seem fit for your personality, but you want it to be fit, but people calling you schizo and crazy and institution, like coming up with terms, putting terms schizophrenic, and then we see the connotation that has gone under. Like, we used to be shamans. I wanted to go into that as well, because it's Christmas season, winter solstice season, rule as Exile 13 had put out. So it's a lot more going on than meets the eye. Man, I'm sorry about that. Just tie. Yeah, it's a lot more going on than meets the eye when it comes to who we are. And I said I was going to talk about that later on, about how we used to be shamans, and like the indigenous cultures, they had the shamans, and they did have priests and stuff as well, but a lot of shamanistic practices was brought up a lot more, so that people was able to get in tune with their mind and see what was going on. Just to get into that now a little bit, where's that page at? I was looking up about the Inuit, which are the Eskimos, and it was this guy talking about. Yeah, that's just a preview for later. Let's get back into the article. But yeah, right here, let's see what this article is saying. Over the past 60 years, scientists around the world have been writing about this mystery. They analyzed past studies, combed the wards of psychiatric hospitals, and looked through agencies that treat blind people, trying to find a case. As time goes on, larger data sets emerged. In 2018, a study led by a researcher named Virga Morgan at the University of Western Australia looked at nearly 500,000 children born between 1890 and 2001 and strengthened this negative association. Pollock, a psychiatrist and researcher at King's College London, remembered checking into a mental health facility where he works after learning about it. He too was unable to find a single patient with congenital blindness who had schizophrenia. has been diagnosed with schizophrenia. 2004, 13 healthy people were blindfolded for 96 hours, and 10 of them reported having visual hallucinations between their first and second day in the park. Wait, blindfolded for 96 hours? Oh, I don't feel like doing the math. Hours to days. 4 days. They was blindfolded for 4 days. Hey, Piano Key. Thanks for coming on by. One subject, 29-year-old woman saw a green face with big eyes when she was standing in front of where she knew there was a mirror. Wait, so though she couldn't see the mirror, she saw a green face monster in the mirror? Huh. Another 24, was she able to see through the blindfold and see a mirror? Another 24-year-old man by the end of the second day was having difficulty walking because of all the hallucinations that appeared to be in his way. He reported seeing mounds of pebbles or small stones, and between them was running a small stream of water. By the end of the study, he reported seeing ornate buildings of white-green marble and cartoon-like figures. Whoa, hold up. Let's keep going. We've known for a long time about the link between visual loss and hallucinations. Charles Bonnet syndrome, first described in 1760, is a disorder in which people lose their vision and then start to experience hallucinations. These kinds of mental conjurings don't necessarily come with mental illness, though people with schizophrenia have regularly shown to also have issues with their sight. Having unusual eye movements, problems with the retinas, unusual blink rates, and isn't it a light that like shines at you a certain way, that Lucia light, so that you can hallucinate? And as you blink into stuff certain ways? I don't know. And other visual aberrations make it more likely for a person to be diagnosed with schizophrenia. One study found that those visual problems start before a person has their first psychotic episodes, not after. So you start seeing stuff before you. According to this guy's study, saying one study found that vision problems start before a person has their first psychotic episode. So I'm seeing like the lucidness reality start playing with you. Like, oh, did I just see that? Oh, what's going on? Oh, this is not real. Ooh, boy. But then when you're not in a trip and you're just experiencing that out of the blue, that life. But that's why we got the Tai channel. If you coming through stuff like that, come Psy Tai podcast. Let's see how life changes up after you tie some things out. I'm curious. Yeah, that's the light I'm talking about. Ajwa light. You know how to say it. That third eye in Hindu name. Yet this association falls away among people born without sight. Polak and Phil, an associate professor of psychiatry and psychology at Yale University, have a theory about why, which they published last year in the journal Schizophrenia Bulletin. Real original. It's rooted in the hypothesis that one of our brain's most important jobs is to make predictions about the world. Oh, man. Oh, just Tai. I'm going to stop right there. You know I got my Tai bits I throw in there. I was just watching. I didn't know this was falling. I was just watching with my daughter, Optical Illusions. Why is this happening? I can't break reality like this. You have to give the illusion. There we go. I am in a certain space. Ta-da. Well, I was watching Optical Illusions, and they were tying on, the guy was doing a TED Talk about how our brain works, and he creates optical illusions and stuff like that. And he was saying how our brain is so ready to know what the hell it's talking about or what it's saying. Oh, I saw this before, so I'm going to create this so I see it again. Even if that's not what's really in front of my face, I'm going to paint the picture, and it's going to be like that. That color, like, it was two orange squares, and then they, like, put it in the shadow or something, and then they look gray. And they look like two different colors. But then when they removed it, you was able to see technically when they put the cursor over top of it and the computer was reading it, that it was still the same color. But overall, he was just tying on how our brain says, this helped me before, so this is going to, I'm predicting this to happen again. And that's why psychedelics is so wild, because it just breaks that looseness on everything, or deep meditations, or really tying your ass off. You really start getting into the gears and grooves of yourself. But yeah, he was talking optical illusions, and that's how optical illusions work. And that's why sometimes when you see those pictures and you scrolling on Facebook and stuff, and then you see that it look like between a girl legs, and you see the vagina, but then you see it's trees, and then they be like, can you re-see that again? It's like, that's how reality works. Why is my camera screen frozen? Oh. People keep calling me. I have to call back. I just jumped back down in reality. That was pretty sweet. But yeah, that's how it is. Boop, boop, boop. All right, yeah, disassociation. Yeah, talking about blind people, schizophrenia. Oh, how the brain makes predictions and optical illusions. And that's why it's hard to but then when you really train your brain and loosen your mind, you can do awesome things. You ever see that thing where it's something, where it's spinning, it's something spinning, and then they say, is it spinning to the left? Or is it spinning to the right? Like right now, you could tell my hand is doing that because you're looking at this and it's doing some predictions. Like our brain is always making these high level calculations, like beyond calculus. Like the world is calculus for real. When you look around, it's always equations making stuff happen to make our world fit. But that's just how our mind works. That's how that's why Newton was able to so-called discover calculus, because that was just what we was already doing. In this reality, the reality that we was already basing off was off of calculus, and that's why we able to predict things with rockets and trajectories and build buildings and build computers and stuff like that. And man, there's so much stuff coming to my mind that I just had to share with y'all, because it was also things on the computers and how with these high level calculations, I was learning about the curve. What is it called? The fractal curve. Fractal. What is it called? That name, the Notch curve or something?
The golden ratio? Wait, what are we talking about? Curve.
Oh, hey. Wild Man Ninja.
Hello.
Yeah, I don't know how to spell it. But they was talking about fractals, Wild Man Ninja, and they was saying how they had the equations for the fractals, but they didn't have the computation power to display it or to really know what they was talking about. Like the people that wasn't in their imagination in the math, and they was trying to hand plot it, but then they said this would take years. But then computers were starting to be invented around that same time. So then they was able to plot out the fractal. And then that's when it's like, oh wow, this goes on literally forever. The math was right. Just keep zooming in, and then this is it looks like this on the zoom out, but you're really in this whole other dimension. And you just keep going in and diving deeper. I found that amazing that computers help reveal that imagination to us.
I saw that one video with the Mandelbrot set where you zoom in and it keeps going on forever.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know where I got this knock word from, but it did pop up, the knock float snowflake, but it is the Mandelbrot.
Mandelbrot, yeah.
Thanks, bro. I ain't from Earth, bro.
But what you said earlier about those visual things that you can't tell if the thing spinning to the right or left. It's like your brain has to choose, but it's not really what's happening. It's just your brain going into a default, trying to figure out what you're looking at.
That's actually what's happening. When he said it like that, I heard that before, but now knowing, experiencing that, the being able to change reality around and thoughts and stuff, and then hearing somebody say that, I was like, yo, he telling these people straight up what it's doing.
How it works. Your mind creates the reality. Choose wisely. To control your brain.
Man, the human mind is so wild though, because it was still just try to pass that off as just talk. Because I heard this a long time ago, and I was always interested in it, but now it's like it's just next, like you said before when you was talking about you being in school and learning math and being like real cool with drawing the geometries and stuff. It's like we set ourselves up for every point in life.
Yeah.
Nothing is out of place.
Yeah, it all fits into perfect geometry.
You well called it the fractal Buddha. I think I heard that before. It looked like a Buddha statue. Let's see if they got a cool graphic for us. Yeah. That's wild how it does look like that. Yo. How you been, Wild Man Ninja? How's training going? Oh man, I just clicked out the wrong tab.
Training's going good, man. I was just out hiking through the forest yesterday, just getting a good hike on, and doing some cardio, working on my pull-ups and my sprints. Training's good, man.
Nice, nice.
Man, it is good. It's great training going for hikes, you know. And then what I'd like to do is combine my exercise with some fun activity. So going for a hike, you know, just take a little microdose, and man, I'm out there just finding mushrooms and going for little runs and just climbing trees. It's like the real wild man ninja training, man. It's what I do. Get out in the wild. And that's how the ninjas actually were formed, I think, if you can't remember the exact details, but I think it was like the pantherina mushroom or some mushroom gave some ancient Japanese dude the idea to create ninjutsu. You know, so even the art of ninjutsu was created because someone was out there getting a little woohoo on the mushrooms.
Yeah, I know. That's why they was moving slow in the movies too. The Chinese movies and stuff. That's how it was.
Although, didn't the Buddha die from eating a mushroom? Someone gave him the wrong one. Legend.
Well, I did hear about that too. I know, and he had enough. He had enough to go.
You get that point, and you just decide. You're like, I guess I'll die now. Get in the right meditative state, you can just choose not to come back. End up one of those mummies that they find they think they're a statue, but they're just just a monk in a real deep state of Satori meditation. So.
How can you ever tell the difference with our mortal minds? Talking from like a movie perspective, you mortals will never understand. I'm looking it up now. The Animina Pantherina. I think that's what Kalindi was talking about, and he was saying the words "the young pine forest," and that's what it was meaning and stuff from the Japanese words and Shaolin and stuff, and being able to fight all the kung fu, stopping, slowing down time, predicting movements, or just seeing the movement come. It's not even predicting. It's like, yo, I saw that coming.
It's funny, like when you learn kung fu, they try to tell you that the origins were from monks who were just they didn't want to sit around and get weak. You know, they were meditating, but just sitting around is not very healthy. So they developed these exercises to stay strong that would help them last longer in their meditations. So all the kung fu, all the jumping around, all the push-ups and the stuff was not even for combat or, you know, defense or military stuff. All of it was training your body to be able to withstand the deeper states of meditation. Now that is interesting to me, my friends, because I'm all about that, getting real strong, healthy body, mind. That way you can go to these deep states of meditation. See,
hey, it's mind, body, soul. Gotta take care of the body, right?
Yeah.
Can't leave nothing behind. You're absolutely right. The mushroom told me that because I wasn't working out. I had the opposite feeling growing up. I had that crazy feeling that if you worked out, then you wouldn't then you would be like a jock or something like that. And I will always want to play the position of the nerd. Like, oh, I got to be on the computer. Can't be the jock. Like, they just want the girl, or they just want to work. They too, meatheads. Like how they play out in the movies.
Oh yeah, it's a trick, man. It's a trick. It's not choosing one or the other. It's a both. No. You gotta have both, man. You gotta have both.
It is. And Mushroom showed me that, and it was like, man, you need to start working out. It was like a cool thing, though. It's like it was showing me the mind, body, spirit aspect, and like the strengthening. Like you getting the mind right, and now, but you forgetting about the body. Like you forgetting that the mind is the body. Like where you get it all together. And then I signed up for the gym like the next week.
Motivated.
Yeah, I've been different ever since. So that's why every time I see you and stuff, and you be training and you saying all this awesome stuff, and you talk about mushrooms, I'm like, yo, yeah, I just appreciate you, bro. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, much love. We're tying it all together.
Tying it all together.
Much love.
You well said. The Buddha, he think he died of old age. Yeah.
It's just funny. There's a legend out there I did hear about.
I'm looking it up now. Yeah, tomorrow is Christmas. Right, baby. Christmas Eve. Go close the door. Give me a high five. All right. Close it all the way. They like, no, you gotta hear the Christmas music. Oh, I see the legend you're talking about. It's the Kuda Kamraputa legend. Was a smith who gave Buddha his last meal as an offering when he visited Mangrove Grove in Pava on his way to Kushinagara. Wait, let me see so y'all can see. And shortly after having Kunda's meal, the Buddha suffered from fatal dysentery. Is the type of gastritis that results in diarrhea with blood. Whoa.
Man, what a way to go, man. That guy, Kunda, who's that guy? Do not let that guy feed you ever again. Don't eat at Kunda's. Oh, man, straight. Restaurant. And we killed the Buddha.
But yo, bro, what you think about this article I was going down to? I was reading as well, talking about people blind and them not being diagnosed with schizophrenia. I didn't finish reading it. It's way longer than I thought. I'm looking at it right now. Now one case has been found yet. And I want to know how are they looking for the schizophrenia? But I guess if the person doesn't have any visual representation to be confused with in the first place, or to base himself off in the first place, like was he not ever?
I mean, blind people are automatically schizophrenic, or more prone to what's going on there.
I know, but that's what they're saying is that they wasn't diagnosed with it though. Like the psychiatrists can't diagnose them with schizophrenia. Like with their tactics, they checkbook that they go down.
Because they're blind, it changes something.
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing I could think of is they ain't in it. They ain't seen nothing in the first place. So they always making up something. So their mind is probably not in a place of this is this and this is that. Because it's always making up something. So it's no had to deal with the I don't know. I'm tying off the riff right now. Don't you know how sometimes we can be in something and us going against the government is like us going against the government in our own mind in a certain way in order to reveal something to ourselves? What if they can't diagnose them with anything? I don't know, but the scientists do anything they want. They can't diagnose him with anything because he already beyond it. It's like, I don't even gotta check in with y'all on this. Like, interesting. Just interesting. And that they were saying you can blind yourself. They studied blind yourself for a couple days, and then they started experiencing hallucinations after 96 hours. Some people after 2 days.
I have heard. Well, that's what the point of those guys who would go into a cave to meditate. Because if you shut yourself away from the light, you're at a cause. And then you stay in the cave with no light for a certain amount of time, like 96 hours. Like once you hit that point, your mind starts like producing more endogenous DMT is what the story is, and so therefore you're in the cave, you're meditating, and if you give yourself enough darkness, eventually you start hallucinating naturally.
Yeah, you start seeing ultraviolet light and infrared light.
Yeah.
Hey, Exile. Welcome.
What up, Exile?
Yeah, Kalendi talks about it too.
Going into caves.
Well, sitting in the dark for a long time.
Yeah, it's like 90. Has to be like 90 hours or something more. 96, 90 hours.
I used to want to do that. I used to say, I got to save up enough money to go to the caves and stuff. This was before I knew about psychedelics, because I was watching the YouTube videos and stuff about all of this. I was like, I got to do that. It still would be an awesome experience to find the time to do. Well, make the time to do.
You ever gone to luncheon?
Yeah. But it's wild, though, that this happens, but yet the person that's born blind, they say, is not experiencing any hallucinations.
That is interesting.
That's why I brought it up. Like that thing that's going on with the humans that's fun. Huh. Yeah, I just want to know what y'all thought. That's all I could think about right now.
So imagine the blind person. He can't even look at that little the graphic that has the spinning lady to make it turn left or right, to cause it to spin different directions. He's not even doesn't even get to go that far. So the brain is doing something else entirely different in his mind's eye. His mind's eye is probably constantly creating like a dream world like state because he's not getting anything from his eyeballs. So maybe he's constantly hallucinating, like if you're blind. Maybe. See what I'm saying?
That's what I was on.
You don't have to go to a dark cave. You're blind, so you're naturally just in the dark. So you just constantly start hallucinating. Maybe. I bet if they tested to see, like, if you could, like, if there was more DMT in a blind person's brain naturally than a seeing person. See what I'm saying?
I think that's why this study is. What song?
That song, Holy Night. I was listening to a lot of caroling and like choir music last night, but if you re-listen to the song "Oh Holy Night," they're talking about how like the divine night, how the night is divine, like, and I relate that to like the unknowing, and like what you guys are talking about is like the face, the thing that is there regardless of what you call it. It's outside of all our perception, yet it's still, if you can perceive it, that's part of the what they call Christ consciousness, or leveling up, or coming to grips with your ego, or call it what you want. This balance that we have with actually doing things in the reality, but then I think the duat or the ma'at, I forget what, King Oz is yelling at me right now, but the face over the water, the undescribable essence.
Cool. I think that is the duat. I'm gonna go with that. But yeah, you're right. The undescribable essence, the thing that's going on. I was looking up the Oh Holy Night and going into the darkness, and like you said, coming back out with something. But in that darkness, seeing the being transformed, being transfigured, transformed into something different. Through experience, you experience the holy night.
Yes, sir.
The old night when Christ was born. Like when you're Christ, like you say, your Christ consciousness, or however you want to put it, like you're awakening, and you're like, oh man, this is it. Like we're one. or home. Yeah, it's a lot of cool things going on Earth. And what was another thing I wanted to bring up? Let me look through my tabs real quick. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, well, while we in this, yeah, talking about the Inuits, and Christmas and mushrooms and stuff like that. We could tie on that. It's holiday season, and about I want to find this book, but it's called In Those Days, Shaman Spirits and Faith in the Inuit North. And I found out they don't like being called Eskimos really, because Eskimos means eaters of raw flesh. And that's what the outsiders was calling them, because they thought they was wilding and thought they was like wild people and stuff. Like, man, these Eskimos, they're the Inuits. And they was, the book was ties on how the Christians and the native religions, how they was coming together and how they was clashing. And everybody, let's see this. Ken Harper shares tales of Inuit and Christian beliefs on how they came to coexist and clash in the 19th and 20th centuries. During this period, Anglican and Catholic missionaries came to the north to, I was practicing this word and now, because it say but it's like proselytize. Hold on.
Proselytize.
And proselytize means convert or attempt to convert someone from one religion, belief, or opinion, or to advocate or promote a belief or course of action. Yeah, Davis wants to share his concept and
proselytize.
And proselytize his ideas. So it's coming to talk to you, but talking to you to convert you. Like, they know why they talking to you. They got a plan, an agenda. They try to switch your faith around or do something like that. So they came for those, not just to harmonize, not just to see what's going on and say, hey, here go these lovely people surviving for all these hundreds of years. How did they do it? They're just like, man, we got these ideas and we want them to override. We want our magic. We're more powerful magicians. That's just how I look at it. More powerful magicians. Or we see ourselves as more powerful magicians. Watch us work our magic. Harper's collection includes stories of shamans and priests, hymns and ahaha songs and sealskin churches, drawings on first-hand accounts to show how Christianity changed life in the North in the big and small ways. The following excerpt, The Wisdom of Aura, details meeting between Greenlandic explorers and anthropologist Kundar and the shaman of the Fox Basin region. Yeah, I read this before. Y'all can check this out. I'll put it in the Discord and in the chat, like right now. Yeah, but we the mushroom and stuff, they were into going into the darkness. It's another guy, I can't find them right now, but it was a shaman, and he was talking about him growing up and how he would hear voices and stuff like that and like things out of the norm. And so they brought him to the local shaman. His family was like, oh, well, our society is set up for us to know what to do in these type of situations. This is what we do it, or this is how we choose to handle these situations. So they brought him to the local shaman, and then the shaman like brought him to a secluded place for like a good 30 days. And he didn't give him like that much blanket or food. He like brought him food and stuff on like a couple days and water on like a couple days, like on a surprise tip. But the guy thought that he just was like surviving. He was just a kid. He didn't really know what was going on. But then after a while, he started adjusting to the cold. They started He started you said they get days of dark every year. Yeah, it gets so dark up there. Days of dark, no sun pop up for like a couple days. Shout out to that vampire movie, 100 Days a Night. But yeah, he was sent off on this shamanistic journey in order to help him deal with the visions that he was receiving, because he had to get on it one-on-one. They couldn't just preach it to him. They couldn't just give him a book. He had to go out there and live the book, see that the book is him, that he is a part of the story, that he is a part of life, one with life, a character in life and life at the same time. And he said after like a couple days, a lady appeared to him. But then he said the lady never appeared to him again, but it changed his life and his thought pattern, his thinking, his neural genesis probably was popping off in his brains, and path neurons started firing off, going down started carving new groove paths and stuff like that. So he literally was on a whole nother level, and the visions was testing, like the vision quest. UL said the visions can test you. And that's what was going on. No telling what other visions was popping up that he just forgot. I had visions all day, and they pop up, and then I'll forget them because it's just, I see it as a part of the average day, unless I want to write a story or something about it. And I'm like, oh man, I can make this into a book, so I can do whatever. So I feel happy, or I don't know. It's just joy. Joy comes from creating for me. But yeah, he was on this journey. And he also mentioned the mushroom too, the Amanita muscaria, at the end of the journey. And then that warping and changing, like rat tying everything together. So now in this book, I'm guessing that he tying on when the shamans and stuff started coming, because they had all of their herbs and stuff. And we heard about the reindeer. They say eat the Amanita muscaria mushroom, and the shamans would drink the piss of the reindeer because of how if you ingest the Amanita muscaria, just eating it fucks with your stomach. Your biome, your gut biome is like, oh my God, what did you give me? Whew. But then after it's filtered out through your systems, even a couple times through your system, is potent. And once you drink it, you have these vision trips. But Amanita muscaria is more of a, when you go to sleep and stuff, your mind is really, it's the most lucid thing that is, the most lucid dream pops up, the most lucid experience pops up, all these visions and stuff happens. So then, yeah, they was literally drinking the piss. Simons was drinking the piss. And look at the extent that humans go to, truly, to get to where they gotta get to where they gotta go. It's like, if I gotta drink piss from a reindeer, this is what I gotta do. But trust and believe it works. Y'all ain't gonna believe it works, but man, I'll just come and tell you all the stories.
You try the mushroom by itself, you get such a bad stomach ache, you're gonna be wanting the piss next time. Trust me. The piss is the way to
go. Yeah, you're right, Wild Man Ninja. The mind just makes that up. Just comes up with that conclusion. Like, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. Old alchemy, you will, Adams. That's how you title it. Old alchemy. So then the story goes that as the snow, where is it? Hold on. Sorry, I jumped off because I had a whole scientific article too, like a whole science study about how, I'm gonna post this link in the Discord and the chat as well, how in the wintertime they would build the igloos and stuff like that. And the igloos got the chimneys and the one thing on top. So that's what the shaman will come down and give them stuff, like Santa Claus, red and white Amanita muscaria mushrooms. Let me see, Amanita, bang bang, fly allergic, toadstool, the Mario. These are so much more popular too in the UK. They're popular in America too, and I'll be on Shroomery and on the Facebook forums. I'll be seeing people finding them in the forest. I got to travel to Oregon one day and find some. Or I found out the ashtracts are actually legal too. Shouts to you, Will. I think you mentioned that a whole year or something ago. But yeah, these are it right here. And then you see Santa Claus. And I used to think Santa Claus came from Coca-Cola. That was the myth I heard a long time ago too. Santa Claus is red because of the Coca-Cola. Let's see. Coca. I don't know how to spell Coca-Cola because I don't buy it. Soda. It's really not in my brain. Wow, that's wild. That's wild. What did I spell? That's how much they get us though. You know how much Coke products is in every single movie? Santa Claus. Let's stick to the script. There is no script.
Amanita muscaria, the fly agaric mushroom.
Agaric? Oh, that's how you say it. Fly.
They used to think it would the smell of the mushroom would detract flies, so they would cut up the mushroom and put it in a little bit of milk and set it on the windowsill, and then it would catch flies like fly paper. So they call it the fly agaric mushroom, but it's just a misnomer because it doesn't really attract flies.
Wow, but yet it's stuck. Cause that's oh, thanks. I never knew that. Yeah, this is something about the Coca-Cola 1991 Coca-Cola Commission illustrated having to paint Santa for Christmas advertisements. Those painting established Santa as a warm, happy character with human features, including rosy cheeks, a white beard, twinkling eyes, and laughter lines. Sunbloom drew inspiration from an 1822 poem by Clement Clarke called A Visit from St. Nicholas, commonly known as 'Twas a Night Before Christmas. Yeah, you know, here, I like to tie everything together. I was just going to talk about mushroom in this, but also Coca-Cola plays a big role in how we see Santa Claus as this big white guy, big old jolly fellow. The new Santa was based on a salesman. People love the Coca-Cola Santa image and pay close attention to them, so close attention to them that when anything changed, they sent letters to the Coca-Cola company. One year, Santa's large belt was backwards, perhaps because Sunbloom was painting via a mirror. Another year, Santa Claus appeared without a wedding ring, causing fans to write asking what happened to Mrs. Claus. The children who appeared with Santa and Sunbloom's paintings were based on Sunbloom's neighbors. Blah, blah, blah. What was the first thing? Yeah, but this is what it was taken from. Wow. Because the whole story, they went up there, how I'm tying this all together. They found out about the Inuits in Canada and all the other stuff about Christmas. The red and white. The big old jolly man. Yeah, see? All right. Let's read what they say. Didn't always look that. In fact, many people were surprised learning prior to 1931, Santa was depicted as everything from a tall gout man to a spooky-looking elf. He has donned a bishop's robe and a Norse huntsman's animal skin. In fact, when Civil War cartoonist Thomas Nish drew Santa Claus for Harper's Weekly in 1862, Santa was a small elf-like figure who supported the Union. All these people made Santa Claus into things about work and money. Nance continued to draw Santa for 30 years, changing the color of his coat from tan to red to the red he's known for today. The first Santa Claus has used strict-looking cloths in a vein. Yeah, it's all these different stories popping up about Christmas and Santa Claus, and I'm trying it all together. Oh, wrong screen. Coke started as a drug company. Yeah, they was in their mind. So they was able to grasp a lot of things that was going on in the atmospheres and see, like, they probably knew about mushrooms. Wait, and the shamans. Hold on. Red and white shaman. Let's look this up. Like, I always can mouth off, but since we tying things out, y'all know I like to show things and then go off of it. Shaman. So we can all tie together. And y'all not just up here listening to a so-called preacher. Red, white shaman gear. Come on, come on. Yeah, I'm looking. I found something, but it's just showing old cave. Let me show you what I mean. Old cave art rocks and stuff like that. You can't really tell anything. Oh, the white shaman. That's not what I typed in. But yeah. It's a lot going on. I can't really find it right now. Can't really find it right now. It's a lot of Google trying to confuse me right now, showing me a lot of other stuff. But I remember seeing pictures of the Arctic shaman. Where is it at? Come on, we're gonna get this. I remember seeing pictures of an Arctic shaman wearing red and white as well. I'm trying to find it. Here it is. I'm like, hey, some classic picture somewhere, but I'm not running into it. And now I have found it. Bada bing, bada boom. This was the picture I seen. Dressed up just like it. And then we see all of these old Christmas pictures. All these old holiday cards with mushrooms in them.
Yeah,
like,
see that? See that shaman guy wearing the little thin beard thing, and he's got his red clothes, and that's like a Siberian shaman, man. There he is. And they wear the red and the little white dots to reflect the Amanita muscaria mushroom. You know, as a little symbolic gesture. They're just kind of matching there, and they would bring the mushrooms that grew underneath the pine trees, the Christmas trees, just like gifts around this exact time of year. That's when they pop up underneath the tree. And the shamans would take the gifts, and they would have to drop down the chimney because the front doors were all snowed in, so they couldn't walk in the front door. So they would drop through the chimney, the shamans, to give the Amanita muscarias, and they would hang them up to dry on the mantelpieces, or hang them on the tree to dry, just like ornaments. It's all together. It's all Christmas.
It's all Christmas.
Yeah. It goes way back to the Siberian shamans, bro. It had nothing to do with Coca-Cola.
Yeah, that's why I kept bringing up. They switched everything around for the money. They say, "Hey, here we are. We on some Coke right now. Woo! I got this idea. Let's switch the minds of the people around and do this for the advertisements, and it's going to lead us to just more money and influence for the next 1,000 years. Woo!"
Why can't they just keep the truth going, you know? But they gotta change it up because they got money, man. They want that money.
That Coke and money put together.
I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but it's weird that they do that, huh? Capitalistic monetization of things. Weird.
I'm trying to look up old Christmas cards now, like old vintage cards. Because I remember a lot of them having mushrooms in them. Here go one right with an angel with a pack of enemy and Mascarius. Here go the elf. And you saw how they said that Coca-Cola made him like a white jolly fat man, like he was an elf. He was different. He appeared as different figures back then. Because it was all up to the interpretation, too. How you imagined them. And he was supposed to be an elf. Like elves live in the North Pole. How does the mind of man just come in and say, hey, I run this? Well, that's what it did. I run this. I'm Santa Claus. Me and my wife. Y'all work for me. Oh, I got a Christmas movie idea. All right. I'm still looking. But all of these pictures are very cool that I'm running across right now. Let me look, let me type in vintage. Vintage Christmas cards. All of these had to be made at the time of Coca-Cola, as we see they all got the Santa Claus on there. Now that we know a little more. Here go little creepy Christmas cards. I was supposed to go see Krampus, but they shut down the movie theater because of COVID. My neighbor had rented it out for like $100 for his daughter's birthday, and then they said, nope, we changed our mind. All right, let's see this right here. Let's see this page. Hold on, I lost the chat box. Krampus looks like how most shamans would dress. It's really Heru Horus Day, the 25th. Yeah, Horus. Oh, yeah, well, thanks for the juicy stuff. We should get into that. Yeah, you could take it. No, I don't want y'all to know my location just so I can use your site. Just drink it out the bottle, babe. I can't get up right now. All right. Love you. Can you close the door all the way? Cool. Here goes some old ones. Frogs dancing with beetles. What is this one? This is a faithful reputation how I feel when carriers knock on my door. Come on, load up. Whoa, look at this snowman with arms. We moved away from the good ones. The good Christmas cards. That one is pretty neat. All of these are totally tripped out though. Faces, everything is anthropomorphized. Again, nothing makes sense. I mean, there's a woman with a face of a bird opening a casserole with some sort of half meatball, half human creature. Oh, wow. I wanted to find the one of Krampus. Oh, there go the jesters. A right Merry Christmas to you. And I'm just scrolling down so y'all can see all of them. I don't know what happened to the one of Krampus, but you said shamans used to dress up as Krampus? Yeah, look at this. Hold on. Let me pop this chat out so I can keep track of it. Hold on, what y'all see is me going through my mind, keeping things up. All right, there we go. You said Krampus looks like how most shamans would dress. With horns. And this is the image people scared of. Like, this is probably the real Santa Claus. Not Santa Claus, this is Krampus. I remember the people that worked that I used to work for at the ice cream shop, they had a life-size Krampus statue as part of, in the Christmas, as in the candy store that was right next to the ice cream shop. What is the story of, I don't know how to spell it. All right, let's see what this is. Krampus and come on. Krampus in Central. Wait, I can have this up. Look up old Siberian shaman. Will do. Krampus in Central European popular legend, a half goat, half demon monster that punishes misbehaving children at Christmas time. How is that Christmas time? And they just didn't put a. Yeah, they just didn't put a space. I thought they were trying to make some new word up. He is the devilish companion of Saint Nicholas. Krampus is believed to have originated in Germany, and his name derives from the German word Krampen, which means claw. Krampus was thought to have been part of pagan rituals for the winter solstice. According to legend, he's the son of Heru, the Norse god of the underworld. With the spread of Christianity, Krampus became associated with Christmas, despite efforts by the Catholic Church to ban him. The creature and St. Nicholas are said to arrive on the evening of December 5th, which is Krampus night. While St. Nicholas rewards nice children by leaving presents, Krampus beats those who are naughty with branches and sticks. In cases he is said to eat them or take them to hell. On December 6th, St. Nicholas Day, children awaken to find their gifts or nurse their injuries. You went on that trip, you went on that journey, and they was like, hey. Like, man, that was a bad trip. That was a challenging trip. Oh, mushroom talk. Santa Claus, not Santa Claus. Why do they keep trying to have all these pop-ups? Oh, wow, look at this picture. Festivities involving Krampus. Festivities involving Krampus include Krampus Run, and this activity, which involves alcohol, people dressed as the creature parade through streets, scaring spectators and sometimes chasing them. Beginning in the late 20th century, amid efforts to preserve cultural heritage, Krampus runs became increasingly popular in Austria and Germany. During this time, Krampus began to be celebrated internationally, and the monster's growing appeal was evidenced by numerous horror films. Some claim that the expanding popularity of Krampus was a reaction to the commercialization of Christmas. Yeah, you know, whenever that devil aspect come up, we only see it as the devil because of, or even call it the devil because of how the Christians view of seeing how they see us in the world, and it's the devil that try to get us, and it's the angels that try to save us or can save us and stuff like that. Yes. I can't answer right now. Just don't answer it, okay? Just don't answer it.
I looked out the window.
Is it Brad?
Yeah.
All right, just tell him I'm doing a show right now, okay? Tell him I'm doing a show right now, okay? Thank you. Oh. All right, let's get to this. Do. So they talking about German word claw, Santa Claus. Oh, I got what you saying now. What you said, where you got it from. Oh, wow. And then they just shaped them up into this image because we always trying to paint a nice picture and then forget about the psyche of the soul and paint it as the devil, is what I was saying. Yeah, scaring you said many stories for kids in Europe were based on scaring kids into listening, say you well, Adams. Yeah, and I think that works. I think it really works. They listen for sure. if it's popping up in you like that, getting all your senses intact. But it's always a lesson. It's always a lesson. It's always something at it. And I think, hey. Did you go to Blazing Jays?
Yeah.
I was going to go there. It's 35% off the second one?
Still, it's like 45% right now.
45% off the glass?
It's like, it goes down like 5% every hour.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Ruth. I got it for $100.
Whoa.
That's supposed to percolate and everything.
Yo.
Try it out.
Yo. No, but he just got this bong. It's so dope. It's so dope. I'm gonna take a picture. I gotta be on Instagram. Check it out. Oh, but yeah, that's part of it. That's part of the balanced picture in my book. Seeing everything, not really seeing it as a monster, not really seeing it as a demon, but something that's part of the psyche. And when you're really a warrior and really like in the mind and bossed up to a lot of things, when you see these things appear, they won't have you going so much in the rut. They won't have you being so confused, because you'll get the story. You'll know why they appear, and you'll know what's going on, and you'll probably give a little giggle, a little laugh, or either someday participate as that character and play the role as the Krampus and stuff like that. The roles of life switch up a lot. Hey, Rudy, stop. You're not going outside. Switch up a lot. All right, so... All right, guys, I'm juggling a lot of things right now. So as we can see, the Krampus and stuff, which we see like in mushroom journeys, we see how things appear in our mind that we weren't always prepared for, that we thought we wasn't prepared for. But then at the end of the day, we like, hey, man, I'm happy I went through that. I'm happy I set myself up for this, or that life set me up for this. Even though I'm glad I had to breathe real deep. Things was fire, or things was, I was thinking about my childhood, about a trauma or something like that, and it appeared as this apparition, or this was trying to tell me this entity was trying to tell me this, and I wasn't really trying to hear it, so it seemed monstrous at the time, hellish at the time, and stuff like that. I think that's in my stories. Was Rudy, calm down. You're not going outside, bro. You got me up and anxious. Go ahead. Go. It's me and my dog Rudy. Our emotions are just like that. And if he anxious, I'm anxious. I'm like, you need to chill out, Rudy. And he really gotta feel me. But yeah. What I was tying on was, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for stopping by the Psy Tai podcast. I really do appreciate y'all for hearing these spews, these tobbits. But yeah, facing the horrors of our mind and living with it, experiencing it, not running from it, and knowing that that's just a part of us, not damning it, saying that's a demon and saying that's a part of us. Like people wake up, like when I said the Inuit shamans would help the youth if they come in having visions in their mind by putting them on this journey that will seem like, hey, why would you put a kid through this? But at the end, you see the results, the end what they say, the end justifies the means, something like that. So, he said sometimes people get gnomes with gifts, others get claws. Yep, claws, or lumps of coal. A lumps of coal ain't nothing compared to getting claw or Krampus coming off the ass. But you see the journey of it, because people are scared of Freddy Krueger appearing in their dreams from watching the movie. And they're like, man, I still don't want to see Freddy Krueger. But yet you see how we can get into these positions of power and know that we're just as powerful as these apparitions. So powerful that we create these apparitions. We can cause other apparitions to pop up if we want them to do that. And so I'm talking a lot of Thai stuff. So whenever I get that out there, it's always like it's followed by silence or a giggle. Yeah, it was a rite of passage of adulthood, not just getting big. Yeah, it was a rite of passage. It's a rite of passage. And this is what happens. And this is what happens with the psychedelics. And this is what happens with when you put yourself out there into finding yourself and self-discovery. And Christmas time is that time where everything seems to come together. All the jolly feelings, all like you want to feel jolly, you want to feel the gift of giving. And this all comes with how our mind appreciates this time. It's coming to me about how harvest season, like this is when we used to harvest everything like in November and October. And now during these winter months, the dark months and stuff, we would come together and share the spoil, share all the extra things that we have that we worked on all summer long. But what I was tying on is the balance of the mind. And being aware of what's going on in the magicianship of being able to create things and not getting lost in the imagination of just the Krampus or just the Santa Claus. But our cause in life, what we cause to happen, and how we are the cause and effect of how we interact with each other. That's what Christmas is about for me. The winter solstice is going on for me because you mentioned 25th is really Horus Day, Heru Day. That's our solar polex. Our solar polex, our will, what's going on, how we our sun sign as it moves around as it moves through the zodiac. And it really is all of those things, how we appear, what's going on, how we act, what we choose to do, our creativity, how we show ourselves, and who we really are. And that's the celebration. The sun gives warmth. The sun gives life as we know it. As we know it. The sun on the 21st dips below the Tropic of Cancer, and then it rises back up. Is that the 21st, or is that on the... When is Christmas? 3 days before the 25th? 24, 23, 22. Yeah, I am right. I was like, wait, that don't add up to 3 days. But around the 21st, when the sun goes, dips below the Tropic of Cancer, below the horizon, it goes down, and then it pops back up and appears again on the 25th. So and it appears anew to bring new life. This is the story that you hear in the character of Jesus in the Bible, where you hear that he died, he went to hell, and then it's a whole bunch of other connotations put on where they say he grabbed the keys to the kingdom of heaven and hell and then came back with those keys. He was facing a lot of things and then conquered it and got out of it. All of these I see as being real, because what is real? Just tie. What? As the sun dips below, astrology is what our folks was looking at in the sky back in the day. And our imaginations were so vivid that it was other stories at play as well. The Jesus story is just one of the ones that's been pronounced around the world because of that proselytize word that I brought up. What is that
Proselytize.
word? Proselytize. Thing of going out and spreading stuff around the world. And I'm spreading ideas, having conversations around the world in order to change things around. Religious conversation. It also includes actions which invite such conversations. So that's the only reason. But there's so many other stories going around. That Horus wasn't his body taken apart and then put back together in 3 days. It was taken apart and put back together. Put in 3 days. So that's still another story of looking at the sun as it traverses across the sky, and how do we feel based off of that? And how we feel is the actual reality. How we feel is our imagination. Like sometimes we say, oh, that's just how I feel, or I was just thinking, or I just imagine. No, that's what's going on. And as you create your stories, you're creating legends and mythologies and stuff that will inspire other people down the line. And they be like, oh man, that holy book of Tai, or that holy book of the Brave New World. Any book can be sacred. This is what we consider sacred, what you consider sacred. And then if y'all been on this time with us for a while, y'all see how it is. Y'all see how we tie, what the tie is. I'm just Santai. I'm just Tai. I'm just. But yeah. 3 days with the ancestors, they say. Iboga trips can last 3 days. Yeah, Iboga trips are real intense, you will. Real intense. They really have you facing some things. I remember your mate Tom did that. Had a Iboga experience. But yeah, Iboga is something that is a plant root that's over there in Africa, and they actually want to have that over here now because they got the trials for getting people off medications and heroin and stuff like that. But it's been around for thousands of years to help people face themselves in order to become lightened, so to speak, or help them on their journey, help them move along in their inner path, their spiritual path, their path for the self. Path to help the community, help the village, help their civilization, their city, their town. Because it's still being used today. It never stopped. But yeah, that's what's going on with everything of Christmas and passing on the stories of Horus. That's what we was on, the Horus and astrology. And because I mentioned this before, you ever take the dream route? No, I never, not in this life, Like I said, I'm tying with y'all on everything. I want to see how much I talk more in the future, but I'm still going to be tying with y'all. Well, my journey in this lifetime has just begun. Even though the mushrooms would say, what are you talking about? It's been begun. It's been begun from times beyond infantitum. Or infantitum. Is that even a word? Infantitum. I'll be making up stuff. Oh, nope. That's actually a word. Infantitum is a Latin phrase meaning to infinity or forevermore. Just Tai, guys, just Tai. Happy holidays. Celine Ondolota. I gotta get the chat box open so I can copy and paste that. Says you will. Is a plant native to East Cape of South Africa. I never heard of this at all. I never seen that shape. It's a green herb. And this is something to put out there in the Thai sphere, is that we tie on a lot of things as Americans. And I know me as an American that grew up in Philadelphia and just running across a lot of things and really going for the experience, but having a lot of awesome experiences as well. In other cultures, you grow up with a lot of these green roots and herbs and everything just off the bat. Just like as a natural thing. They don't know nothing about the chemical structure, know nothing about any of that. They just know that it works or knows the experience of it. And that's what I think makes the mystery of humans and this mystery story that together so magnificent, so intriguing. Because it's so many corners to turn around and be like, oh wow, this was going on here, and then to find out every corner you turn into is a whole universe in and of itself that got so many other points. That's why I'm looking forward. I'm looking at the times. I'm looking at the times as being created, and the things that we tying on, and it being becoming more of a normality, or more of a thing that you don't have to think over 10 times, 5 times. But hey, this is just what we do. Just like we drink water, just like we eat bananas, just like we cook fried steaks. Or we found a million ways to cook steaks and stuff like that. We're finding a million different ways to to juggle and live out all of these ideas and experiences that we're coming to grips with now. I know. I will definitely look into this. You will a lot more. All right. People say a lot because they need to sing more. Sing, make up something. You notice that when you start talking a lot like me, and you're like, man, I say a lot. I gotta change that around. I was like, man, Obama say, oh, dude. It's like a placeholder. Well, exactly as a placeholder. Yeah, goofing around. Make sure y'all share this with your buddies. All right, let's keep it tying. All right, where did I leave off at? Talking about infotainment. Oh, I wanted to mention something right before I get to the next top part. Was when I mentioned the infotainment part. I was thinking of how we all come to these inspirations, and when you really let yourself flow and you believe in yourself and you move in yourself, you really start coming up with a science. Hey, Rin Wineho. Hey, Rin Wineho. Welcome to the Psy Tai podcast. New face, new essence. And when you really start tying into yourself, you'll start coming up with your own science. Like, yeah, that's what everybody else did. We look up to these people that write books. We look at these people that came up with all of these awesome things. But then we say, hey, man, I got to look up to them to do this. Or that was just this point in history, and that's what they did. And that was like grand. But we are the history makers. We are the ones that they made history just like we make history. And I'm just trying to say that because of how simple it is, how simple an idea is, and how the difference is just being worked on. How is it being worked on? Every single thing that we do is genius. Everything that you do is genius. It's just how do you look at it as genius? Salvador Dali. I was watching a documentary of him last week, and he then become like more renowned as an artist into his 30s, and he started acting like a genius. And that's when he became the genius. Like, man, I started thinking that when I start acting the genius, that's when I am the genius. And that's when he said that's what I said, everything that you do is a work of art. But the way that your mind is thinking about it is how it's going to be brought to life. The magic, the alchemy that you put on it was how it's going to be brought out. It's how it's going to be brought out. Sorry, I just read what you wrote. Given about the training tools. And sorry, everybody, I was reading what you wrote. Yeah, these sciences and what we come up with, everything that we look at, everything that we do is all about how we present it, how we put it together, how we choose to put it together, how we choose, and how our mind is correlating those ideas. Like, are you thinking of it as energy? Are you thinking of it as something that you just do naturally? Is it something that you had to think and plot out and got inspiration from this and that, and you want it to appear a certain way? As a certain way, you will be able to have everything flowing. You said once you let the gin flow, it will bring wishes. Then be careful what you wish for. LOL. Yeah, That's what's happened. Fairly Odd Parents is real. Fairly Odd Parents came grant all the wishes. Grant all the wishes. And Fairly Odd Parents is one of the ultimate training tools to help you learn and be careful what you wish for. But that's what start happening when you start creating the science and stuff. Because I'm tying on math, and I was watching as well Savants. I know what I was tying on before I go to that about art and everything that we do. I don't know if y'all caught the last show, but here goes the dopest shoes in the universe, the most Thai-tastic shoes you'll see right now. These are the Just Ties. You see the mushroom glory on there. Got the eye, and then look, it opens up like, woo. Wait, there it is. That's the reason. Yeah, I was working on these. These will be in the Just Tie Now, www.justtiedown.com if you want these shoes. And they're a size 10.5, 44 euro, European size, 2.5 Canadian. How is that? How does that go? I wear 2.5. Eh? worse. I'm the worst. I got but yeah, it's all on how you do it. It's all on how you do it. Here goes some. Oh, is it gonna pop up for me? If not, that's all right. Yeah, even the shirts. Just showing examples of art. But yeah, that's how it goes. Cause we doubt ourselves for no reason. Yet the most simplest things I see a lot of people get mad at. Like, most people hate modern art because they're like, how the hell are people making all this money off of a dot, off of a circle, off of two lines, and they different colors, off like the most simplest thing. But that's how the mind works. What is the mind? Is it thinking about the energy, or has it worked with that energy so much too that now it don't have to think about the energy? It's just in the flow. But then when the artist start talking about it, all they talk about is the energy. All they talk about was how they felt in that moment, and that's all they was able to do. It's levels. It's levels that I recognized as I started appearing. Ooh. Sorry, that's the Gramps calling me. My Nana and my grandma calling me. They probably trying to help me out and send me something right now, but gotta put it on hold. Hey, Brad. Hey. And thanks. You got more coming. The next art piece is going to be bedazzled. Whoa, y'all can't see them. This is what's coming next. Y'all won't believe it. Y'all seen it here first. The Just Tie. Oh, what is this? The Taifinities. These called the Taifinities. Y'all gonna be able to pick these up in about a couple years. The Taifinities. Y'all gonna be able to see this when y'all got on y'all AR goggles, when y'all got on y'all AR glasses or y'all contacts. Y'all gonna be like, yo, man, them Taifinities. I seen them a couple years back. AR projection over objects in this reality. Mass hallucinations. Mass hallucinations. You will, Adams. You say, yeah, you start to become of the levels. And thank you well. Happy holidays, winter solstice to you well. Because you're already about that life. I've been paying attention. My awareness been on you and the way that you pronounce yourself and stuff like that. And I've been taking the little Thai bits from there and remixing it up. And as time progressed, I'm like, oh, yeah, now I say, wow, okay, uh-huh. So happy holidays, you will. To all. But yeah, I was bringing up the levels too, because then the science, once you start really getting into it, a lot of our sciences was all created off of just a whim. I was looking up autistic savants, and I remember running across this a couple years ago because I was trying to see if I was on the spectrum of autism because of my social, how I communicate with people and stuff like that, and see if that had something to do with the so-called spectrum that I'm now seeing was created by the same guy that created the schizophrenic word. So you see, all of these is word mind traps, period. But you know, we get out of everything because it's to Tifinity and beyond. But but I was watching a documentary on autistic savants and how they were able to not excel in like certain social things, but when it came to mathematics, certain ways of remembering, or certain ways of abstract art, that's where they were able to excel beyond so much of what people thought they were capable of. You said just as much as I get from the Thaiology. Thank you. Hey, you know, one bro. 1-1. Not even one bro, just 1-1. 1-1-1. 1-1-1. What's that song? I forget. Enemy. Yeah, that's a whole nother song. Public Enemy song. But yeah, see, I'll be lucid as ever. Yeah. But yeah, we able to autistic savants and them being able to do things that the average person is not able to do. And the documentary was showcasing all of these awesome children that were able to do mathematics and display all these different skills. And I do put myself on that spectrum, because I remember when I ran across other people that was like more on that, because I never ran across like another person like in my lifetime till I was like out of college that was like on the autistic spectrum. That's wild. And I was like, wow, yeah, like that guy pretty cool. I was able to see where his mind was. Like, I was like, yo, this guy's like me. I just talk a lot. I just talk more. It was when I was working at a high school. When I was working at a high school as the tech guy at Parkway Center City. But the motivation from the parents was what allowed them to excel. And I think that's how the mind works. It was like they saying there's something in the brain. They don't know what it is. We still can't pinpoint it. Science can't pinpoint it. But I think it just depends. It's just how the brain works and how it's warping reality around. Words don't really matter. Thinking in pictures, thinking in concepts is a way of experiencing life. And that's how I experienced it a lot of my life. And it allowed me to, when I went across things like mathematics, I was able to visualize. I'm able to visualize things. I'm not trying to work it out on the paper so much. Like what I'm working on the paper is an after effect of what's going on. Yeah, it's just tapping into an energy. And this is where we get all of our sciences from. Science was whispered from an angel. And then the person was inspired to come up with not mathematics, science. Science as we know it. Science. Yeah, I'm probably not going to find it right now, but all the alchemy, alchemy where chemistry comes from, the alchemists, they weren't Christians. They were practicing all these with different herbs and metals and sniffing different things and into their mindset of trying to trying to refine the gold into lead into gold, refine their soul and stuff. So they were getting inspirations from what people today would call demons and spirits and otherworldly contacts in order to come up with what we know today as calculus. Isaac Newton came up with calculus, gravity, and all Galileo, all of those people, they were getting inspirations from other things outside of themselves. And then they just came up with it, they say, but it was so based in this reality, it just worked. Like how True met his professor persona. Yeah, but it's all in us. It's all in us. It's all in us. And Ul Adams was talking about True and his magic mushroom journey, meeting the professor, and the way that it was tying to him, the way he was talking to him, the speech pattern, the presence of it. It was professor-like, but it was him. That's something we all can tap into. I tap into the Luffy Goofy and the bow tie, the suit lace tie, the professor, or the loose lace tie professor. I like them because they like, whew, I just came up with this idea. And what is why I like the structure. So in today's lesson, we have, and then like the bulletin board and stuff, is levels. I remember in school, that's when I was listening to True talk about that in the mushroom journey, to tie it together, how we always could do this in school. I used to write my papers so easily because I used to just record the narrator voice that was playing in my head. The narrator voice, it was reminded me of the guy that narrates nature documentaries. That narrates nature documentaries, and I would just write it. I was like, oh yeah, I like to write like this, because in my mind it was like, in the nature documentaries, that was like how the good way to write. Like it was narrating life. It was the overarching life. So when I'm writing, I'm reading the story. I got the comprehension. I'm reading. I got the experience of it. But now what's the narrator that knew what was already happening and like can piece it and do what it do. But it was always so simple, and with math and stuff. And then I would read about certain people in the religious aspect. It was this Hindu boy who said his inspiration for math was by one of the Hindu goddesses, and it gave him math equations. Math equations. Hindu boy. Here it is. To tie everything together for y'all. This awesome guy, I'm gonna call him SR for short. They said FRS for short. Born in 1890, was an Indian mathematician who lived during the British rule. Though he had no formal training in pure mathematics. Oh, look at this. Look at pure mathematics. Look what pop up. Look at that geometry. Is the study of mathematical concepts independently of any application outside of mathematics. These concepts may originate in real-world concerns, and the results obtained later turn out to be useful for practical applications. But pure mathematicians... Wait, we get the rest of that. But pure are not primarily motivated by such applications. Instead, the appeal is attributed to the intellectual challenge and aesthetic beauty of working out the logical consequence of basic principles. Oh, this is an E8 lattice group. I remember that documentary, learning about that. I gotta post it in the Discord so y'all can find out about that. And the E8 lattice crystals, and how is E8 lattice crystals mathematically in the 10th dimension, and it casts the shadow onto the 9th dimension, casts the shadow onto the 8th dimension, keeps on going down into this structure that we see now. But they got it worked out with these crystals, crystalline patterns. Yo, that inner jukebox be on point all the time. UL. You said UL had said, LOL, I used to have a narrator, then I found inner jukebox so I could have inner background music. Yeah, all the time. That's why I love Family Guy, because along the way they was helping me out and being comfortable with my reality. Because how Peter Griffin experiences reality is how I'll be experiencing reality. I remember it was one episode coming to my mind right now where he heard the narrator voice. And he's like, wait, what was that? and he was like, oh, and then there's other episodes where he can hear the theme song and stuff like that. Like, that show is on point with the conscious state of an awakened being, of a Thai being, I'll put it. So shouts to Seth MacFarlane. Shout outs to Seth MacFarlane, because we have all of these things going on, all of these outside personalities going on that's working as the one. Just like in that movie, Let It Out. I think that Disney movie with all the personalities, all the emotions going on, but it goes so much deeper because there's so much other things going on. It's more than just 5. Like Joel says, the ones that got the music going on. Oh, I love it. I love it. Like some people that say you get a song stuck in your head, I can't get a song stuck in my head. Like I realize it's going on and I'll be enjoying it, and all right, time to change the song up. And I'll be thinking now, I'll be going into a space and I'll be having even visualizations and then switch song up. But yeah, that's how it is. Pure mathematics. And going into tapping into the mathematics sphere. And bringing out the mathematics of yourself. This can happen as well. This was what was happening with FRS. Where did F come from? Now I know why I'm off. What are they talking about? Oh, Fellowship of Royal Society. Oh, okay. Next time make a sentence. This is wiki, guys. But he did a lot of cool things. He compiled nearly 3,900 mostly identities and equations, many-word complex novel. His original highly unconventional results, such as the Riemannian prime and the Riemannian theta function. Yeah, we're not going to understand this. And number theory, portion formulae, and Mach theta functions that have opened entirely new areas of work and inspired a vast amount of further research. And I know this is all true from my own experience, because when I was studying math and I was real heavy into it, that's why I'm still young. A lot of things gonna be happening in my life as I talk to myself. But I used to come up with mathematical formulas on my own. And then a week or two later, I mentioned this a lot of times, I would come across it in the book and be like, oh, wow, yeah, I came up with a similar thing. But I was doing it to make the work easier because I wanted to go and play. Or it just bounced around in my head that way. And deeply religious Hindus, Raman credited his substantial mathematic capacities to divinity and said the mathematical knowledge he displays revealed... Wait, can y'all see this? All right. It was revealed to him by his family goddess, Namagari Thayar. He once said, an equation for me has no meaning unless it expresses a thought of God. And that's what made me, want, I had it my own way. I wanted to be a theoretical astrophysicist. So I wanted to make up the equations that the experimental physicist was going to come up with, which I'm still doing right now. We all doing that right now. Just tie. I forgot about that soundboard. And we all can do this. If you don't know, now you know. Well, you said, yeah, Graham, is that the pie guy from the movie? That movie is a trip. I don't know what movie y'all talking about. All right. But yeah, that's the inspiration I was talking about how we can tap into all of these ideas and inspirations and make things happen. Tap into the alien essence. I'm making all this computer stuff happening. I was all alien, but y'all know what I mean. Tap into that computer mind, having it piece it together. And working with psychedelics is having my mind lucid enough where I'm able to talk to them. If you want to say they're able to talk to them and get the ideas, or as you say, tap into the energy of the self and allow it to flow through whatever kind of anthropomorphized thing you had to put on it to make it work, or to see it work, to see it working. Pie. Yeah, I'll check it out. Pie movie. Yep, I'm gonna go check that out. It's an American psychological thriller, 1988. No, he made the movie Requiem for a Dream. Oh yeah. Yep. So this is the things that happens. This is our magic. This is the magic. Okay. So all right, so now to the next part of this podcast I want to go off on. I think was the Space Force. Did y'all hear about that? The Space Force and how the Space Force, and this is way segue, but how the Pence announces that the Space Force will be called Guardians. Like, this is not somebody on YouTube randomly saying this. This is Mike Pence. Is that the vice president? Yeah, vice president announced Friday that the Space Force military will be called Guardians. What is this about? We just returned from the Oval Office, and so is my honor on behalf of the President of the United States to announce that henceforth that men and women of the United Space Force will be known as Guardians. Guardians of the Galaxy. Movement as the Space Force that was designated last December, making it the newest military service and the first new service since the U.S. Air Force came into being in 1948. The Space Force was partially established to address concerns about threats to U.S. satellites, which are crucial to military operations and commercial business. After a year-long process and that produced hundreds of submissions and research involving space professionals and members of the general public, Guardians is a name with a large history in space operations, tracing back to the original command model of Air Force Space Command in 1983, Guardians of the High Frontier. The service continued, adding that the name Guardians connects our proud heritage and culture to the important mission we execute 24/7, protecting the people and interests of the U.S. and its allies. Today we make history. The term Guardians isn't the only Space Force reveal that the Vice President has made in recent days. Pence also announced earlier this month that Florida Cape Canaveral Air Force Station and Patrick Air Force Base will be renamed Space Force Stations. Today we make history with the first two installations in the history of the United Space Base. That's such a tongue twister. The U.S. Space Force to bear the name of this new branch of service. Wow. So there we got it, guys. We have a Space Force. And they want military operations in space. Oh, SNL probably made fun of it. You will? That's what I'm thinking of. SNL. Wow. So they just were like, man, we going into space. Will do. Well, hey guys, I'm gonna end this out pretty soon. I hope all of us continue tuning into the holiday cheer and the sun, see what the moon is doing as well, and keep on tying and having an awesome day. Let me get this back on here. Oh, it's on Netflix. All right, I'm gonna look for it. Oh, wait. Oh, before I go, another thing I wanted to tie on and tell y'all about. I've been watching the show Lovecraft County Horror, and I watched the show the episode I Am. I said that happened. Like that's what happened. Like you know how humans go. That's what happened to me. So check it out, that episode I Am. They go through a dimensional portal and then they take into a so-called source. She thinks that she's in prison, but the alien entity talking to her is like saying, you're not in a prison, but yeah, she's still struggling, and every time she feel like she's struggling, she's thrown into an experience where she's struggling. Like, that's what was happening with me. Like, that's literally the experience I had with magic mushrooms, with psilocybin mushrooms in the dark without anything going on. And then when she found out that she wasn't struggling anymore, she said, I am. And then she was able to be different things, and she was jumping in all these different realities, learning how to train to be a warrior. I'll throw in I was thinking of scientists, but it was something else going on. And then and so then she was in all of this. What happened? Oh man, it's all escaping me now. And she was above the earth talking to it. And then she found out that she can be all of those things. And then she went back and said, I remember her saying things that she loved and piecing back together, well, I love this, and talking about I want to be with my husband or something and stuff right now. And that's how it is when you come back to reality, period. After you go out and you come get that choice factor in the adventure game, you get that choice, and then you offered that choice. You get that choice appears. It don't always appear all the time. And then you come in. And she's like, I want to love this. I want to be in this situation where I'm loving this husband or where I'm doing this. And that's what she said in the show. And that's when I told y'all happened. And just excitement for me. And I'm transferring to y'all. And I was like, yeah, I said, I like this. I like that. I love this. And I felt myself creating back reality, is forming it back and coming it back into being, into a being, not the being, a being. But so, yeah, check out that show. It's very awesome. Lovecraft County Horror. And check out the Just Tainow website, Just Tainow store. Sign up, make your profile, have some awesome experiences, share your Thai bits. I'm going to be displaying some more things on there. Enjoy all the family connections. Let me know all the surprises, and I'll catch you on the Thai side. This has been an awesome one. Thai always.